I didn't know how many like numbies we had and everything.
What's up, everybody? Come on in. We're just finalizing the notes. Come on in. Water's fine. We won't bite. It's good to see you, babies.
He said he is smoking a queso though on his Traeger.
Do what?
He's putting like queso in a pan and he's smoking it. Wow. So it makes it smoked queso. He said it is so good.
I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's like a queso and then a bunch of Gouda and I forget what the
Gouda's a great cheese.
Yeah, it was like two other cheeses and chorizo and you just put that bad boy in it.
That's basically just dinner.
Chorizo.
It's like cheese soup.
Well,
chorizo is so underrated.
He also has a charcoal smoker. So it's going to have like a charcoal smoky flavor.
What if I just wanted George Foreman though?
You could do that too.
Sorry, guys.
Put your damn headphones on. What are you doing over there?
Sorry, guys.
Is there any snare in your headphones?
Amateur hour.
Sound good.
We do sound good, Addy.
How are those levels?
Pretty good. Looking pretty good.
This is ASMR.
I'm going to shake your hand. I want to shake his hand.
More drops, Josh. I've sent you some.
So we're going to send you some.
Specifically tell me the timestamps.
For the card king, we want to get like the dun, dun, like the king's horns as they're being like announced. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I couldn't really do it as well.
That's really good.
That was a good one. We may just do that one as
just record it and use it.
Actually, Allie is like a mouth. The mouth.
We could have her be the mouth trumpeter.
She is the mouth trumpeter.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, fellas, we ready?
Let's do it.
Let's get it. All right. We're gonna hit record.
This is Big 3 IDP. Catch us in the league going in every week, racking them points up. Who got the streak? Cause we joking it, having some fun. Yeah, this how the crew getting it done. I'm talking Josh, Adam, and Connor. Yeah, this a command and conquer. Hard hitting, the IR's real. This football, yeah, you know the deal. Cause it's all about the defense and the TDs. Yeah, this is Big 3 IDP.
What's up, you diehards, you degenerates, you lovers of defensive football? This is Josh Raymer, and we are back with another episode of the Big 3 IDP podcast. And I'm joined in the Sode Shack tonight, boys. It's not too cold, but it is mighty rainy outside. The heaters are cranking. It's nice and warm here in the Sode Shack. I'm joined, as always, on my right, Adam Markham. On my left, Connor Raymer. Connor, remember when I couldn't say your name for like the first two episodes you were on the pod? That was fun.
I didn't even want to mention it because I didn't want it to become like a yips thing where you just like your own name was just tripping you up so hard.
I was like, how am I I say my last name fine, and then I get to you, and it was like the double N's were making me say Connor Rayner. And I felt like I was having a stroke. Yeah. I don't know what was going on.
I've been called worse, so it's all good.
Yeah. You remember, do you get any weird mail that has just the wrong name on it? I've gotten, really the only one for me is Jose.
Yeah, I get Connor Raymond sometimes, and I'm trying to think of any others. None other than that, really. That's the most common, or Conner, which is just a preposterous way to spell it.
Yeah, Dad gets Gray Raymer. His name's Greg. He gets Gray. He's gotten Garg before. Yeah.
What do you get, Addy? Do you get Addy?
No, they're all,
just Adam.
It's Adam.
It's just Card King.
So, yeah, first man. Boring.
Yeah, just Card King. Like
Card King.
Like we were talking about with Shout Out Macri. They just address all the cards. Just says Card King, no address, nothing else. They just know.
Yeah, my postwoman is very confused right now.
Did she bring in like 2 arm loads of cards to your mailbox, or just dump it on your front porch?
Dollies.
What was it? Was it Monday's mail that was absurd?
Yes, you sent us a picture, and it was legitimate, like 14 packages splayed out.
It was
on
more
than
that. It was like 30. It was like 30
no
cards.
way.
Yeah, that was the biggest day.
Oh my god!
I felt bad. I don't know. Just I know that post lady was confused. But yeah, card thing's going great.
Not tired of it yet?
Not yet. Found some more boxes. It's fun. It's thrilling, boys.
It's thrilling. You find some boxes, you're like, oh yeah, that's the
good
stuff.
It was a little dirty.
Yeah.
And they only limit you to 2 at Target. So like I've been these people, they don't work there all day, right?
Oh, so you just been going back?
Hey.
Yeah, how would they know?
Just go put a different hoodie and mask
That's usually
on.
what I do. That's right. You're
Yeah.
wearing a mask. So usually I go over there at work. So I'm dressed up decent.
Adam comes in with the glasses, with the fake nose and the mustache. I would like to buy some of your finest cards.
Sure. And then, and then like when I get off work, I usually get the hoodie on. I got a toboggan. Usually I try and, put some type of glasses on, look mysterious, change my voice.
Put a ski mask on, get a gun out.
Of course. It's like the
All right, so are you the card king?
no. We've heard about you.
Wes was asking about you. He said there's somebody else here in town that's buying up all the cards.
Hey,
I've been hearing the rumbles.
it's me. Hey, Wes.
It's like Albuquerque when Heisenberg started making the rounds on the meth scene.
Yeah, I'm waiting to run into some of these guys, or like some of these guys start communicating with me, because I feel like I've noticed like a lot of these guys are familiar with each other. Like I see them talking to each other, like whenever they do a big drop or whatever. That's what I noticed at Target on Wednesday. So
we always joke that IDPs filled with some colorful characters. I feel like the card scene in Bowling Green might take that.
it's shady, man. There was people in the parking lot trying to have other people go buy them for them. Like,
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. It's a thing right now.
You're swept up in the sickness.
Hey, you got to make that money back that I lost on all them AMC stonks.
I was going to say, you got to recoup some of the losses
Sure,
from GameStop. Did you reinvest, though, in Dogecoin?
It's been great. It's up to like 5.5 cents, I think, right now.
5.5 cents.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say dollars or maybe 500.
No, of course not. No,
but
it's doing fine. It's doing good.
anything
Diamond
based
Hands
on
Markham.
anything based on a meme, Connor is going to do well, as we know.
Oh, yeah. And anything Elon touches, he's like, I'm getting off Twitter for a little bit. And the next thing you know, he's got Dogecoin's memes like going to the moon. So Dogecoin, I'm sure, is just shooting through the roof again. But yeah, AMC, Nokia,
BlackBerry.
What was the other one? BlackBerry. What was the other big one?
GameStop.
GameStop. All of them just got
Everyone
big
got
time
destroyed.
paper hands.
Yeah, that Netflix already bought up the movie rights, in case you were wondering. That's not a joke.
Oh, wow.
You'll have the GameStop Stonks movie next year, I'm sure. So that'll be fun
That'll
to
be
watch
like
these sad
the
people.
Social Network type movie.
Hey, maybe. I don't know who they'll get to play in that.
Hey, guys,
They've already got some hottie in there.
Some hottie.
they didn't hold the line. Am I right?
Hey, Connor.
That's what they say. I'm not again. Not a
Who
stock
was
guy.
it? Ja Rule. Yeah, Ja Rule of Firefest fame, getting in there telling people to hold the line as he's secretly selling off all his shares.
Can we please cut in at this point the clip of the Firefest of Ja Rule on speakerphone where they like clearly spell out how he's like frauded all these people out of this money? He's like, now that's not really fraud. That's just not entirely telling the truth.
He's like, look, that's just murder.
It's murder.
Hey, Johnny, Orange Man 3142's in the chat saying it's free real estate, Addy.
That it is. Always free real estate.
I'm guessing he's talking about cards.
Yeah, for sure.
Does he know you're the card king?
Investments, he knows all about stonks, investments. He knows that I'm the card king. I'm sure he's heard.
Another one that's going to the moon right now besides Dogecoin, I can't really pronounce it, is Ethereum.
Yeah, Ethereum.
Doing good.
Ethereum is...
I got to text my crypto broker.
Yeah, be like, what am I in exactly?
What? How much is this thing worth now?
You're going to get hit with a new phone. Who dis?
Yeah,
that is one thing that, the last few weeks has made a lot of people pay attention to the stock market, that there wasn't before. And also it's kind of nice. It's a nice little fix for the DFS.
I was going to say, if you're going through withdrawals right now, don't have Super Bowl kicker contests, unfortunately. Sure. Well, we got a good episode for y'all tonight. We're going to talk about the big game, the Superb Owl, but we're also going to talk some IDP. We've got some news to get through, but the big, juicy segment for tonight that we are so excited for is top landing spots for IDP free agents. So we're going to hit the draft hard this year, Addy. We saw y'all. We saw the numbies. We know y'all love some draft coverage, so we're going to go all in on the draft coverage.
Love them young men.
But we got to talk free agents, Addy, because this is going to be a very interesting class, and we've got some really interesting prospects that most of them probably will stick with their current teams. You look at these top 100 list, usually about 30 to 40% stay with their current teams, re-sign. I think that number might tick up a little bit with the cap expected to drop, but we've still got some really cool names to talk about here, like some bona fide IDP assets, not just like defensive players who are better for the real NFL. These are some guys that we need to be paying attention to. So we're just going to throw out some cool landing spots and have some fun.
Yeah, that's Shaq Barrett. Ever heard of him?
Nope.
Lavonte David, Jayon Brown, Justin Simmons.
We're going to talk about Jayon. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I love these episodes.
Yes, sir. So let's hit some news first, though, gentlemen. And of course, the big news that broke Saturday was that Matthew Stafford finally, like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption, climbing through the sewage pipe. I think it was a half mile or a quarter mile of human waste to get to freedom. That's what Matthew Stafford has endured for years and years in Detroit.
Shout out Detroit.
Yeah, shout out Detroit. Wasn't into biting kneecaps, so he said, "You got to get me the hell out of here." Yeah, there you go. That's what he was climbing through. Gets traded to the Los Angeles Rams, who give up 2 first-round picks and a third, plus Jared Goff. Now, you have to imagine that, Connor, I know that you've talked before about Matthew Stafford's wife, pretty famous on the Grom, pretty vocal about her hatred for all things Detroit. Mm-hmm. She's got to be thrilled now to be in Los Angeles. And Jared Goff, as we know, Cali boy, we've seen him on Hard Knocks. We know he's kind of a surfer bro, now in the frozen wasteland that is Michigan. So he's bummed. But Connie, we'll start with you. What did you think when you saw the trade? Were you surprised? Did the compensation make you raise your eyebrows? What was your thinking?
I think we kind of called. We thought it would at least be 2 firsts, and that was true. Now, I even made mention because we were kicking around what would Ballard do, and you were like, "Oh, like 2 firsts and a third," and I said, "Well, Irsay would almost have to get involved." It seems like Indy and a few others didn't even get as close to this. It seems like the Lions were far and away. That the Rams were far and away the best option for the Lions in terms of compensation package, and that's where Stafford ultimately wanted to go.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. And on the other side of the coin, man, you kind of feel for Goff. He's like the guy that got broken up with by the homecoming queen, and he's like, I just gave you a promise ring. Like, you just gave me a contract. Like in
last
2019
year.
or 20,
2 years ago,
like 100.
Yeah,
how much was that? 110 million
guaranteed. Yeah.
So I'm sure he is reeling, and then having to go to Detroit and go play for that psychopath on top of that versus McVay. I mean, dude may be out of the league or a backup sooner than later versus what he would have been if he could have kept staying on the tit there in LA.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that Lions are saying all the right things right now. You know, we want Jared Goff. He wasn't just a throw in, but make no mistake, the Rams had to pay a first-round pick to get Goff's contract off of their books in some part. And so I think if anyone came knocking and offered the Lions any kind of compensation for Jared Goff's off this team. Make no mistake. This is a team. They gave Dan Campbell a 6-year contract. They are in it for the long haul. They're going to rebuild this roster and not expecting results right away. I mean, you could see if Washington doesn't end up with a quarterback, maybe offering up a second round, third round pick, whatever, to get Goff, 4th rounder even. But yeah, Goff needs a little bit of career rehab. This was basically adding the Brock Osweiler trade on steroids when, the Broncos dumped him to the Browns, or the Texans dumped him to the Browns for a 2nd round pick. Got to give up a first. I mean, congrats to the Rams. They got their guy, but man, you're having to pay a hefty tax for your big mistake a couple years ago.
Yeah. I mean, the pulse of Twitter was that the Rams killed this trade. I
was the exact opposite. I thought the Lions did really well in this.
I thought the Lions crushed it.
And Stafford, he hasn't been able to stay healthy lately. He's been dealing with the back stuff, which is always scary, especially when you start getting, deeper into your career. But yeah, I mean, I love it for the Lions, and I agree. I mean, Goff could potentially be traded at some point. If one of the contending teams, loses one of their guys. I mean, yeah, you could see a team being dramatic and trading for a guy like Goff. So I also don't think Goff being there should prevent Detroit from going after quarterback. in this draft. They have a shot to get, a young guy, maybe like a Trey Lance.
I think they probably will take a quarterback with that pick. I think you have to.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what Detroit did. I mean,
I love it.
To get rid of
2
Stafford
firsts and a third,
a 33-year-old quarterback.
and you have Goff. Worst case scenario, you have a quarterback that's been to a Super Bowl.
He's pissed.
Yeah,
he's pissed.
His comments were like, "I'm just happy to
sad
be on a team that wants me," and you can almost feel like the Michael Cera like walking in Arrested Development and just sinking to the floor.
Yeah,
gif unfolding as he says this.
I know you did. You just want to say, "Oh," when after you read that. That's sad.
But yeah, Detroit has the 7th overall pick. So now with these other picks, couldn't we see them like say the Jets land Deshaun Watson? Couldn't we see them jumping up to 2 to take Justin Fields or Zach Wilson?
It'd be sick.
I'd love it.
DeAndre Swift.
Arrow up, but don't forget, it's not just Kenny Golladay that's a free agent. It's not just Marvin Jones that's a free agent. It's Danny Amendola. It's literally their top 3 wide receivers, all free agents.
Hey, you got Cephas.
Oh, Quintez? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Quintez Cephas?
They got Hawk. Why don't they just tag Golladay? We'll see what they do with the.
I think Galladay's out of there.
But can they tag him?
I don't know. I guess they could, offer him the franchise tag. Franchise tag for receivers, that would be pretty expensive.
Do it.
I'll be curious.
I wouldn't pay the bag for Golladay if I wanted one of these teams that has a lot of money.
Hip injury, wasn't it?
Hip injury, but he's already like 27, 28.
Is he old as hell?
It's just, he's a nice red zone threat, but I don't think he's got much more upside. I think we've seen the best of Kenny G.
Kenny G. I know they always do that on fantasy footballers. I love it. The smooth routes. Yeah, he's 27 years old. He'll be 28 like middle of next season. So, but it was funny. They were saying on around the NFL today, or maybe it was the Ballers, that they think Golladay will be the highest paid wide receiver.
Wow.
In this free agent class. $100 million contract.
Over Godwin and A-Rob?
They said A-Rob would be the other one that'd be in the mix. I think Godwin goes back to Tampa Bay because AB is also a free agent. You got to keep that in mind, too.
Yeah, they'll probably just tag Godwin.
I think so.
The more I thought about it, I think they're going to let Shaq Barrett go.
I just don't think it makes sense to bring Kenny G back for 1 year on a huge contract when you're probably going to win 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, but you know, it's piss fans off.
I think the fans are dead at this. I think they're literally like a smoking.
Got to give the fans something. Get the fans Kenny G and DeAndre Swift and Hawk. That's something.
Just run Swift 30 times a game. Isn't that what you want?
Well, yeah, but I want some good game scripts too, Joshy. I want some catches, and
Swift's got that catching ability. He can be on negative game scripts. All right, but Connie, this took a major player off the board for the Indianapolis Colts. The only team, you were mentioning this, the only team that got closer than the Rams was the Carolina Panthers, who thought they were so close they were actually in the process of requesting medicals on Stafford from Detroit. Mm-hmm. So Carolina was the only team that was in the ballpark, although Indy was one of the ones calling about Stafford.
Right.
But of course, this kind of got the rumor mill kicked up because not being in the Stafford sweepstakes, we started to see a lot of Andrew Luck rumors swirling, including leaked, alleged text messages with a friend of a friend of a friend of an acquaintance. And sadly, Addy, Connie got his heart broken all over again.
Hey, man, I was buying it too. I picked him up in a few dynasty leagues.
I saw that. Yeah, that made the rounds in our Slack this morning.
I did that after you sent that stuff. I think it was like Monday morning. Connie sent this stuff like, "Oh, look at this, fellas." Connor was on it before anyone. By the way,
he was.
I really was, and then
really
the media
was.
really ran with that.
Yeah.
He really it was.
Look at this guy who's called all this stuff about Luck.
So
I
read
was
that.
too.
It seemed kind of. I was like, well, shit. I'd heard that before anyway. I just kind of heard some rumblings of that. You know how that goes. But yeah, as soon as Connor sent that, I went and picked up these guys, and 2 dynasty leagues I picked up Luck in. And then I forgot about it after it was kind of like debunked. I forgot that I did it.
Here's what's crazy.
So he's on the squad.
He's welcome to the squad.
Irsay got interviewed tonight by one of the local TV guys there in Indy, and he did not specifically deny them meeting. All he said was, he goes, all I'll say about that is Andrew is retired.
He's more retired now than he was last year.
Then.
Yep.
He never said we didn't have a meeting or anything like that. He never even addressed the word meeting. So did they talk? I don't know. So did that guy lie past what he said? But I will tell you, not that I'm some like ride or die for this guy. I think his name's fake Peyton Manning on there.
Great source.
But no,
But it'd be
seriously.
like a faux John Madden broke the Stafford trade.
He was the guy in Indy because he's like a local like parody account, like a PFT commenter, but he's an Indy personality. He was the one that reported about Luck allegedly hurting his shoulder in the snowboarding accident, which ended up being true. He was the first one to break that. He was the first one to leak about 3 weeks before Luck retired that Luck's career was up in the air and he was truly thinking about not playing football anymore. And guy was just laughed off the internet because he brought both of those. I mean, he pulled the receipts on both. He's like, I called these. They're both true. And he's like, if I'm wrong on this, which again, I think all he was saying was that like there was a meeting. So Jimmy with the Colts.
Yeah,
obviously,
that was funny. What if it was just like the laundry guy and he was best friends with Andrew and they were getting lunch?
Yeah, it's horrible. It broke me again, which is just all I needed here right before Brady wins another ring. So just bring on the pain, baby.
So what is your preferred QB strategy now for the Colts? We were discussing it this morning in our Slack.
I think honestly, just trade up and get your guy. I think you need to trade up and get is it Trey Lance?
Trey Lance from
That's
North
who I
Dakota
want.
State.
Yeah.
All right.
I want him or the dude from Ohio State,
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
That's what I took on the Madden sim, and he's pretty darn good, boys.
He's got a lot of the
pretty
traits.
darn good.
He's got a lot of the traits I think that they value, like accuracy, big arm, and I mean he's obviously showed a lot of toughness when I think
Got like 4 ribs broken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he broke almost every rib in his.
He had a Drew Brees like rib breaking.
He was getting the Marilyn Manson,
Hey,
if you know what I'm saying.
Bad week for Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. We need to.
What happened to him?
He's shockingly a really bad person.
He's like a serial like rapist and sexual assaulter of like
yeah.
really. I don't think he discriminates. Young boys, men,
Hey.
women.
Yeah.
Can we go on record as the first podcast to disavow Marilyn Manson?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We're
Disavow.
We don't support Maryland.
So
yeah, you're out, Maryland.
we're out.
Marilyn
on-
Monroe, Maryland the state, Marilyn
Yeah.
Manson. You're all canceled in our hearts. Mine was Darnold 1, like we talked about less than 10 million for this year compared to like Carson Wentz, who's like 34 million. Darnold has the 5th-year option. Trade a 2nd or 3rd round pick to get him. He's 23 years old. Just see what you got. Maybe he could be the next Tannehill once he gets away from Adam Gase. So that's my number 1 choice. Number 2, trade up. Number 3, just everything else. Carr, Wentz, Fitzpatrick, Jameis, whoever.
Stop.
It's just like in the gross kind of like, who cares?
If we have Andy Dalton, I won't watch the Colts next year.
I'll be out. I'll
I'm
be
not
like,
interested.
I'll
I'll just go
watch-
pick
I'll
up a
watch
That's
hobby.
a lie. That's a lie. You're lying to the listeners.
Listen, I'll
you
watch.
Oliver's
Andy.
painter.
I did not watch games that
I didn't
season.
really watch
You
that
did.
many.
I did not.
Connor.
Listen, I will go play golf and just bring my
All right.
iPad with me and just have it on in the background and just laugh about how much we're wasting that entire roster that basically Luck is wasting. But I can't go down this wormhole much anymore. Look,
Yeah, we needed to shift gears.
it
here.
hurts. Darnold is definitely my preferred option if it's not draft. It's just salary-wise, 5th-year option. He's young.
He's a great asset. Just
Reich can hopefully get his mind right and get him from out between his own ears.
Get his
So-
mind what?
get his mind
Get
right.
his mind right. Yes, sir.
I love that. I love that.
Hopefully he's not seeing ghosts anymore. Get an exorcism performed on this guy.
That was BS, them airing that.
It was kind of
That was Bush,
a low
bro.
blow.
Because there are so many things those guys say that, and I'm not even talking about like the obvious like stuff that's just can't air that on television, but like things guys say or do that is not a great look, and it's like that was really borderline. Like,
And he was a rookie or a 2nd-year player at that point. I think
Yeah.
it was his 2nd year.
it's
Monday
good
Night
drama
Football.
and good content. I mean, again, it's not like it's some like egregious thing, but I think that was just one of those like you don't want to do that because if you're the NFL, it's like, hey guys, your little one-day storyline could hurt like one of our players here in prime time. Like, this is one of 32 quarterbacks in the league.
And they had that graphic of him like pointing at the screen and it said mononucleosis. The reason he was out. I was like, what is the? I mean, they turned him into a meme.
That was a tough year.
It was a tough year for Darnold. So hopefully he can bounce back. Maybe it's in Indy. Maybe it's in New York. We'll see. Let's talk about this funny story. I love this. It was so 2020/2021. Did you boys hear about the Chiefs barber that almost ruined the Super Bowl?
yeah.
That would have been the worst thing of all time.
Oh my God. Like the whole season has played out pretty well. The plates got a little wobbly at some point, but they kept them all spinning. Every game got played. Boys, the Chiefs had 20 players in line to get a haircut when this barber was told he tested positive. He was given center Daniel Kilgore a cut. They both were wearing masks, but they came in, pulled the barber out, and had to put Kilgore and Demarcus Robinson on the COVID list as close contacts. Imagine not being able to play in a Super Bowl because you got a haircut.
Why didn't they test this guy first?
Before he could cut any hair.
Before he could cut
Why?
hair. I don't know. And you had 20 players in line.
Yeah.
Mahomes was one of them.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was Mahomes that was getting his hair cut. Or Mahomes.
They would have swept that under the rug so fast.
Oh, yeah.
0% chance he would have missed for a positive test.
And
Zero.
That's the reality. I mean, it's cute that the NFL is still keeping up the charade of like, oh, we're testing. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure you are. And you may like put a few close contact cases out
just
there.
To make it look like you're doing something.
Just like the concussion thing. Like if they're not doing it for concussions with guys getting their brains blasted in, it's like they're not gonna sit here and keep any stud, any player of significance out of the Super Bowl for COVID. And you can mark my words, blood bank guarantee, if there's any bet on like an over under of how many players or starters will miss for COVID, like
I'll be zero.
It'll be zero.
Both
That's
these guys
the number.
they can still play if they have 5 days in a row of negative tests. They're both going to play.
That's offense, defense, and special teams. There will not be a single person out.
Yeah. So, Connie, you got a little note in here about the weekend, the Super Bowl halftime performance.
So I'm a big weekend guy. I don't know about you. Do you guys like the weekend?
I did not even know who he was until I saw the commercials.
So some of his big hits, let me just go through here. These I Feel It Coming, Blinding Lights.
Is that the one that plays on the commercial?
Yeah,
is
I
blind?
Feel It Coming, and then the Blinding Lights, you've heard it, I'm sure. I Can't Feel My Face When, that's him.
Yes, okay.
Earned It, very sexual song. He has a lot of great, we're not going to get into that, but he's got a lot of great songs if you're out having a date with a nice.
I like the early stuff. The early stuff's real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
The trilogy. The trilogy.
The trilogy.
That's the first 3 albums.
Okay.
Really good.
Some good
Yes, sir. Get some good mood music.
Yeah, it is, man. It is just good.
So it's good smush music.
Yeah,
It's good for smushing.
Yeah, it is good for smushing. Shout out Jersey Shore. But yes, The Weeknd dropped $7 million of his own money for his halftime performance at the Super Bowl to get it how he wants it. Now, whether or not that's true, or if that's just his promo team being like, let's act like we just dropped $7 million on this to make it seem like something that's going to be way over the top. So obviously, y'all probably don't have a favorite Weeknd song, unless Adam, do you have one?
I could give me a second.
All right.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I did not know this, but I'm almost certain because I remember hearing this when it was Beyonce did the Super Bowl halftime. These artists pay out of pocket to be on the Super Bowl halftime.
That makes sense. It's such a huge.
Yeah, they're not paid by the NFL like a normal venue to come in and.
It's an honor to be
perform.
there. You
Exactly.
should pay your staff to be there.
That's what the NFL, the stance they've kind of taken is this is the biggest stage in the world for a performance.
So how do you work in payment then, I guess? Or is it just to like build your brand up and people buy your streams and
exactly buy your albums, buy your concert tickets, like
remaster all your stuff?
Yeah, like whatever. I mean, it's just brand awareness.
Weeknd's got new stuff and just tons of bangers. I'm a big Weeknd guy, so Addie, just let me know when you have yours. Josh, I'll go ahead and ask you
The Morning, probably.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Is that about what happens after the smushing?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite Super Bowl halftime performance? And I'll lead off to give y'all some time. My favorite was probably Janet Jackson and
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
You perv.
Yeah, when the nip came out.
It was such a good performance, and it was so iconic, and that's one of the first titties everybody gets to see.
I
Besides,
think Connor was 11 at that point. I think it was 2002.
Yeah,
it was a good run there for boys seeing their first pair of boobies between Titanic and Janet Jackson.
Yeah, right.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Mine was, just because the Colts were in it and it was Prince. Looking back now, I appreciate it more. I don't know. That's probably the one that stands out. I'm not like a huge.
His was incredible.
His with the rain coming down, and it was so cool. But I'm not a huge music guy. Like, so there's not one that like jumps out to me as like, oh, that was really memorable.
Yeah, I'm having trouble thinking of past ones.
I know
Prince
we had
was great though.
Prince was great. We had Shakira and J-Lo last year. We had, I think, Adam Levine, Maroon 5 the year before that. I think, did the Chili Peppers do it at some point?
I think so, yeah.
I think they did it like maybe the mid 2000s.
Maybe with someone else. I don't think it was like, solely the Chili Peppers.
Yeah. So it's always interesting who they pick to do the Super Bowl halftime show. But speaking of which, boys, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about the big game. This is a game that, Addy, I was thinking the other day, I remember I was in the garage listening to DFSSS. I just had this distinct memory, and you said to Johnny, I think the Bucs could be in the Super Bowl. And he's like, yeah, maybe. They could maybe get there. I mean, you called this. I think this was like week 11 or something.
I've been on them for a while.
You've been
I think
Nostradamus.
I might have called this. I guarantee you I called this. I remember doing Chiefs Bucks.
I remember
early on.
I called it when we did our playoff draft. I showed you my little bracket because I wanted to figure out who I would pick my players from, and it was Chiefs and Bucks.
You remember, I was crazy about Tom Brady's start.
Of course.
Saying he's going to throw for
insane.
50 TDs and I mean, shit. 43?
Pretty close.
Said he was going to throw for 5K. I think I was going to say maybe 6K.
You got up to like 60 and 6, I think, at some point because you're insane. But this is a great game. Like, I'm excited. I hate the uniform matchup. I don't like the red on red. I wish it was more complementary colors. Tampa Bay Stadium is a dump. But I'm really excited about this matchup because I think the consensus right now is that the Chiefs are the favorites. They're 3-point favorites. It's an over-under of 56.5. So we're expecting a high-scoring game. But here's the thing. I think these two offenses, here's what I'll say. I think the gap between the Kansas City offense and the Tampa Bay offense isn't that big. I think there's a much bigger gap between the Kansas City defense and the Tampa Bay defense in terms of the ability to make big plays. They're both like mediocre defenses. They're not great, but Tampa Bay's has been so opportunistic. They've been playmaking. They have guys at every level that can make plays. And so, I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty close. And who do you trust? Tom Brady in like his 10th Super Bowl or whatever it is? Patrick Mahomes in his second? I don't know, man. I might be leaning Bucs on this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly my thoughts on it. It's the defense for me. I mean, the offense are close to a wash, truly, especially if AB gets to play. But, yeah, man, I mean, Brady is, even though he threw 3 picks last game, 2 of those were not his. I saw a lot of shade being thrown on Brady for the 3 picks. 2 of those were Big Mike's fault, and I'm Big Mike's biggest fan.
You're Big Mike's dad,
right?
He's literally right there.
Right here. He's the closest Funko Pop to your computer.
So that 2 of those were Mike's fault. He jumped too early on one, and one went off his hands. So Tom Brady's been playing great. Look on the year at the stats: 4,600 yards, 40 touchdowns for Tom. I don't know if that's right. That should be 43, right?
I would think so.
I think he has 43. All right, well, we're not going to.
That's his age. Are you thinking of his age?
I don't know. But anyway, just two great quarterbacks. This is just the perfect matchup. I'm so excited for this. But I agree. I think it's the defense that wins this here. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. All right, Connie, where are you coming down? I know it sickens you to even think about giving Tampa Brady yet another ring, but which way's your brain telling you to go here?
Markham made a good cross-sport analogy. He said, this is the Jordan versus LeBron that we never got to see. It really is. And what's going to suck is that I think Jordan's going to beat LeBron here because I'm a LeBron fan. I would want LeBron to win, and LeBron is Patrick Mahomes in this case. I just have a weird feeling that just like we've never seen in all the years a home Super Bowl team, and that all these years that Tampa Bay's had this crazy long playoff drought, there's just so many things lining up right now. And I think Tom knows too that we always say year after year, well, he's going to age next year. He's going to age next year. That arm's going to start. Guys, probably not.
No, he's
but
good.
He knows this means so much more. And I think the surgical margin for error, you will see that safe conservative Tom that's now going to have AB back. And AB is not going to cancel out Cheetah as an offensive weapon, but they've all, like you mentioned, it's a wash there. I'm taking the Bucs.
Are we all taking the Bucs?
Yes, I'm taking the Bucs. It's my famous win-win.
We've been right here. We I think all called it successfully the last round. So
it's my famous win-win because if they win, I was right, and if they lose, Tom lost.
Tom loses. So it's also
gotta have a win-win.
I love it. So here's the thing. They were talking about, I was on a Zoom call with the guys from the Around the NFL podcast. They did like a close kind of like 1,500 people kind of Zoom call, and they were answering questions. And someone asked, do you think Tom Brady can play to 50? And I don't think he can play to 50, but I'm telling you right now, I think he's going to be coming after the record for the oldest NFL QB. Do you guys know who that was?
I agree, dude.
Do you know the quarterback that?
No.
I think he actually went to the University of Kentucky. It was George Blanda, was 48 years old.
Wow.
Now you got to think, what motivates Tom? Tom has the rings. Of course, you're always motivated by rings, but you have to put these chips on your shoulder, right? So I think people saying, George Blanda was 48, oldest quarterback ever. Tom can't do that as good as he is. Can't you see him, as long as his skills don't diminish to like Peyton Manning his last year with the Broncos level, saying, I want to keep doing this. I think I can keep playing 45, 46, 47. Just keep pushing.
I don't see why not. I mean, there's not been much of a drop off. Is this okay? So if he wins this one, where does this rank on all of his rings?
It's the most impressive. It's the hardest road to get there because he started
crazy
off,
hard road. Yeah,
it was a crazy hard road, and to finish it with Mahomes.
Well, let's. So what was it? It was Brees. Who was the first?
They played Washington.
Okay, so
it was the dude that immediately got canceled.
That was nice, right? That was nice.
But they have a nice defense, man. That's not a they went to Washington against a nice defense and
that
won
was
that game.
Close game.
That's a hard game to go on the road and win. And I know their quarterback situation sucks, but it's a good D.
Taking down good D, love that.
Great D.
Taking down Brees, then Rodgers,
and then Mahomes.
There was a rumor you not only ended Breeze's career and then threw a tutter to his kid in the end zone on just an incredible fade after the game, and then just walked off with your Louis bag. But then that you caused all kinds of drama and chaos in Green Bay after they pretzeled themselves. And now you're about in our opinion, I guess we all agree, he is about to beat the apprentice that thought that he was going to finally take this ascend to the throne.
And have a 10-year dynasty with Andy Reid as his Bill Belichick, and 10 years of making the Super Bowl 3/4 of the time. I don't know.
I hate it, guys, but Tommy Touchdown is coming.
He's that Jordan level psychotic competitor who's just, you notice he's like Jordan. He can't throw downfield, but do you notice what he does really well now? That little drop in the bucket. Mm-hmm. That kind of mid-range throw that's this beautiful rainbow down the field. I think Peyton Manning was breaking this down on an episode of Detail over on ESPN Plus, and he said he gave Tom an A+ on that throw. It was early in the game to Mike Evans. He just dropped it right in the bucket, and he said this is such a hard throw because you basically have to throw it 4 yards from the sideline. You have to look off the safety and drop it right into the bucket. He let it go 2.5 seconds. So he's adapted his game. He knows he doesn't have the arm strength much anymore.
One thing that came out today, Lavonte David was on with, I forget who it was, but he was getting interviewed and said that Tom Brady saw one of their teammates crying after they won the NFC Championship, and Brady went right up to the guy, said, "What the F are you crying for? We're not done yet."
Gotta love it. I mean, think about
he's the best dude.
If you're Bruce Arians, think about you had Jameis Winston, and you have to give all the credit in the world to the general manager, to Bruce, for saying, we got to get Jameis out of here. We're going to go all in on bringing in Tom Brady. I think making $25 million. Such a bargain.
Yeah.
That's what Rivers got. Pretty sure.
Exactly. Nobody wanted to pay Tom. I think the Raiders are the only other team in the mix for Tom freaking Brady. And they said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go all in on this. We're going to ship off our number 1 overall pick. We're going to bring in the GOAT, and we're going to see if we can win a ring. And they're 1 game away. Just mad props to Tampa Bay.
You want to know one of the locations Tom considered, but they didn't consider him back?
It wasn't Indy, was it?
It was Indy.
Nah, I don't believe that.
Because of the right connection with Rivers, that it was just too solid of a deal. They didn't want to go down that road.
Yeah, that's the other thing I saw that was very true. The Bucs never make the Super Bowl if they still have the alarm clock numbers. They had to switch up the uniforms.
Yeah,
otherwise, there's just no way those uniforms are making it into the Super Bowl.
We had those at Greenwood, and I was 88, and that was bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, it looks like two headlights.
Yeah, it looks like 2 Bs.
Yeah,
not good.
Great move changing those uniforms when Brady got there.
Yeah,
the new Tampa unis
really
are
good.
Nice.
I love them.
I don't like the pewter, but I love the red and I love the white.
What's trouble for Kansas City as well is who's wearing red?
I think Kansas City might be wearing red.
Because Brady is like, I think 4-0 in white in Super Bowls.
That's a very weird stat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's never lost in white in a Super
So
Bowl.
let's give a final score prediction. Sounds like we're all going Tampa Bay. So what do y'all think on the final score? I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to say Bucks 35-32.
I'm going to go 38-35.
38-35. Connie.
I'm going to go 35-28 Bucks.
35-28. So we're all about the same, kind of that 35-38 range for the Bucks. I like how it unfolds. If we're feeling good, we'll do a Super Bowl recap pod on Sunday, just a quickie, just to talk about the game.
No promises.
Hey, so if the Bucks win, Tom Brady's probably the MVP, but give me a player that you think could possibly usurp that award away from him.
I mean, dark horse would be someone like Devin White.
I was going to say, that's my pick. I think I could see like a pick six.
Yes.
Or maybe 2 forced fumbles
Sacks,
or like
right.
4 sacks, some sort of big eye-popping stat line.
15 tackles.
Yeah, something crazy.
Seriously, that's what
we've
he's been
seen
doing.
him do it.
Yeah.
JPP could be another one.
Sure.
Say it.
I think JPP has never lost a playoff game. Did y'all see this?
Yes, that's true.
Because he was on the 2 Giants teams.
I saw that
Went all the way.
It's true.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's some serious veteran leadership, man. I mean, no joke. Not that he's not had like a great year or anything, but
That's
yeah,
big.
It's
having guys that can calm the nerves of these young players. That's a big deal. Like you have Tom freaking Brady, if you're Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, leading you out onto the field, you have to feel like supreme confidence.
There's another option, Mike Evans. He could
Yes.
easily be MVP.
Yeah, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns or something. Absolutely.
But
it's probably going to Brady.
Sure.
Yeah, that usually goes to the quarterback.
it's Mahomes or Tom.
Remember when Malcolm Smith won a Super Bowl
Yeah.
MVP? That
right.
that Seahawks year?
And then the 9/11 guy interrupted him on the podium.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Investigate 9/11.
Yeah, investigate 9/11.
9/11 was an inside job. Investigate 9/11. Hey, what if like the Honey Badger got it?
Ooh,
like pick
that'd be
6 on
if,
Tom
if
Brady,
the Chiefs won, yeah.
and he just like stiff arms Tom into the ground, and Tom's dead.
Man, I got dark quick. Blaine Gabbert has to play.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be terrible? Everybody hate to see that.
Hate to see it.
Blaine
All right.
Gabbert's the MVP.
Blaine Gabbert.
By the way, Brady's 4-1 in white, 2-2 in dark. So it wasn't 4-0.
So what's the Super Bowl uniform matchup though? Can you look that up?
Yeah, he's wearing white, and the Bucks will be wearing
White with gray pants, probably.
white and pewter pants.
Yeah. That's a
while
good
the
look.
Chiefs will be wearing their red jerseys.
It's a color rush game.
What if it was
Pewter on pewter?
What if it was just red on red and you had no idea who was who?
Colorblind people are just like,
Help. It's just
Yeah.
all gray. I don't know how colorblindness works.
My dad's colorblind.
Is
Shout
he
out-
really?
Yeah, shout out dad.
Can he not see? Is he mix up red and green?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, let's talk notable IDP free agents, boys. There's some good names on this list. Shout out Macri, of course, but shout out PFF. This was from their list of the top 100 free agents. So I just pulled out all the non-cornerbacks because nobody cares. Even though the teams with the most need, cornerbacks was by far the biggest group. Like the most teams needed cornerback help. And there were tons of good cornerbacks available. I just don't care. It does nothing for me. So what we're going to look at here, boys, defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, and safety. So we've got a little bank up here at the top. This is from the draftnetwork.com. Check out that site. It's pretty cool. I'd never seen it before. Good stuff. They had a list of primary, secondary, tertiary, or ancillary, and non-needs. So they had 4 different columns, basically assessing each team's strengths and weaknesses. It was really cool.
Yeah, they got a really good staff over there.
So this is primary needs that you all see listed above here, just to give you some ideas of teams that may have some needs. So what we're going to do is I've grouped from PFF's top 100 list, defensive tackles, edge rushers, linebackers, and safeties. And so we don't have to talk about all of these. There's probably about 30 players here. But I want to pull out some guys that you all want to discuss and give me a destination or two that you think might be fun. Like I said, a lot of these guys are actually IDP assets. These aren't like no-name players. So I'll kick us off here because I've been thinking about this. My aforementioned Madden team got me thinking about it because I just went through free agency. So in a bit of selfishness, because this is not just purely fan service here, Jayon Brown, my oldest and most beloved son, to the Indianapolis Colts, because not on this list, but a free agent, Anthony Walker, who is their starting linebacker along with Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, probably going to hit the open market. I don't think we bring Anthony Walker back. I think he goes the Nick Kwiatkowski route and goes and gets a contract somewhere else. So I'd love to see us, AFC South familiarity, bring Jayon on board to play alongside Leonard and Okereke.
But you're set there. That's not really a need.
I mean, it's a need when your number 2 linebacker's gone.
Yeah, but Bobby O can take another step.
I don't know. I want
Third
one more
year
there.
for Bobby O. I was impressed.
I'm excited about Bobby O, but it's always good to have reinforcements. We have like $100 million in cap space.
Yeah,
We got to go spend it. So that's my pick. I'm being selfish. I want Jayon on the Colts. Let's make it happen. Chris Ballard. Bring it home, baby. All right, Addy. What you thinking here?
I'd like to see him somewhere like, Kansas City would be a great spot.
There's a lot of linebacker needy teams.
Yeah, he'd look really nice next to Willie Gay. Because I don't think Hitchens or Wilson are really in the plans there, or should be in the plans there for Kansas City. So he'd be a nice fit there, I think.
Cleveland.
Somewhere like Cleveland.
They need linebackers desperately. Mac Wilson, Sione Takitaki. You've got some guys, but what about alongside the wood chopper in Denver?
Yeah, that'd be fine too. Josie Jewell, not really someone that gets you excited there. That'd be a nice fit there.
Miami, probably the other team. Miami has some money. Jerome Baker, and that's pretty much it.
Philly be a good spot for him.
Yep.
They always have a need there at linebacker. They haven't been able to get that figured out in like the last 5 years. Is he the best get for linebacker?
There's some Lavonte David.
Ooh, that's
probably
the best get.
Okay. So, Connie, non-Tampa Bay for Lavonte David. Where would you like to see the vet go? You could see the linebacker needy teams up there. So where could you see Lavonte landing?
I was just doing some research on KJ Wright before I was looking at Lavonte. I was thinking
Tell us about him.
I was thinking about KJ Wright and tentatively with his big size. He's a big guy. I think he's like 6'4". Now he's an older guy. I think he's like an 11-year vet.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure he just put up, from what I'm researching here on his stats, one of his better years in the last 10 or 11 years. So I'm trying to think of some teams that are going to have some needs or some bigger size needs. And I would think he would fit in great with like an NFC North type team. If you're talking like the Steelers or the Browns, somebody that needs help playing in a physical division with a big linebacker size that's not so much pass, but has a lot of running as well. So I was thinking KJ Wright, some sort of NFC North or AFC North team like the Browns or the Steelers.
NFC North, you got the Green Bay Packers on this list as well, needing linebacker help.
Kansas City be a good fit too. Nice mentor for Willie Gay.
Yeah, KJ Wright hasn't fallen off a whole lot.
No,
he's fine.
He's fine. He's very solid. I know who I like for Lavonte David.
What you got?
Green Bay.
Yeah, he's gonna want to if he can't get the contract with the Bucs, and I think the Bucs will bring him back.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to go get a ring. And I think the best of the teams on this list, you have Kansas City. That would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Go mentor Willie Gay.
Wow.
That's probably the best chance to get a ring. But yeah, and the other side, Green Bay probably would be, or the Rams, maybe you could make the case.
Yeah, true.
Because who do they have there?
Yeah.
Get your reader.
Kaiser.
Not great.
Not great. Yeah.
But they're cash strapped. So I don't know if they can afford to go pay a guy like Lavonte.
Kansas City, that's the primo spot.
That seems like a great spot, especially for a guy that wants to chase a ring.
Yeah.
So, all right, Addy, pick a guy, any guy. Who do you want to talk about?
Shaq Barrett, baby.
Shaq Barrett. All right, so let's assume Shaq does not come back to the Bucs. Where do you want to see him land? I've got my pick.
I wouldn't mind seeing him somewhere like Atlanta.
Ooh, okay.
Seattle
would be great. Alongside Carlos Dunlap and LJ Collier.
Tennessee, the Clowney experience didn't work out.
That would really set them apart.
That would.
I mean, that would
they
need that big time.
That edge helps so bad, that pass rushing.
They had egg on their face big time with not only Clowney last year, but who else didn't even play a snap for them that they went out and spent some money on?
That was the guy from Atlanta, I thought. Wasn't Tack McKinley, because McKinley's in Atlanta. It was Vic Beasley.
Yes.
Vic Beasley. And
Vic was like, "No, I think I'm good. I think I'm just not going to play for you guys."
With football.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Is he going to come back, Vic Beasley?
I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to sign him after that kind of embarrassing performance professionally.
He go back to Denver. I mean, a lot of people forget that's where he actually started his career. He didn't really get a shot until he left Denver.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I forgot about that. That's true. Oh, you're talking about Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought you were talking about Vic Beasley. I was going to say Buffalo. Buffalo
That's nice.
has some free agents. I think Jerry Hughes' contract might be up.
He's like 33, 34 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So bring him in alongside Epinesa. That could be, alongside Ed Oliver. That could be a nice little defensive line. You throw Shaq Barrett in the mix. So let's talk about the aforementioned Jadeveon Clowney. Here's one that I think would just be hilarious, and I'm just going to throw it out for comedy's sake. The Texans ship off J.J. Watt, their most famous player in franchise history, so he can go get a ring somewhere, and bring in, back in the fold, Jadeveon Clowney for like $20 million a year.
What is Clown? No, I don't. $20 million. What does his next contract look like?
I mean, he got 15 fully guaranteed, I think, from the Titans, 15 or 17.
He played long game with them. I
He
mean,
did.
he waited for a while, so who knows what his market will look like? Because it's not like he put up a ton of great film this year, did he?
No.
Not really. No, not
No.
the stats.
Yeah,
Yeah, he signed a 1-year, $13 million contract with the Titans. 11.5 was guaranteed.
I can't imagine him getting over like $8 million.
he had to
He may
fire
not
his.
crack 10.
He had to fire his agent to even get that 13, and his new agent signed that $13 million deal. It'd be like firing your real estate agent because you can't sell your house for something egregious, and as soon as you take a price reduction, what do you know? We actually sold it and found you a team.
Once
here.
you get
So,
realistic.
yeah, you got realistic on what your value is. So,
I could see him somewhere like Atlanta.
yeah,
you know.
that makes sense.
There's a team that's just like, we need some defensive help.
They just want some
kind of
stars,
yeah,
like
exactly.
star power name, like, oh, come watch us play. We've got Jadeveon. We know
Well,
we're not gonna.
And guess who's the head coach now?
Who's that?
Arthur Smith, offensive coordinator from the Titans.
Okay,
So that might make sense. Little familiarity there. Or he may be like, you are not worth the money, so no, we are not going to bring you in.
Yeah, you'd love to see him play indoors, which he could do there in Atlanta.
Yep.
I feel like he plays faster indoors, but send him somewhere where he can at least have some type of just way to finish out these last few competitive years of his career. And he's not going to compete for anything in Atlanta. So who knows? Jadeveon will be an interesting one. Maybe looking at this list here, man, Dallas would be fun.
I was going to tee you up on the next one here because I have a team in mind for
Go
this
ahead.
guy. Bud Dupree, your boy,
My
Bud.
guy.
Where
Shout
do
out
you
Bud.
where do you want to just look at this list here? Tell me the team you want for Bud Dupree. Because the team I had in mind was Dallas.
Dude, you got to get Bud to Denver, dude, where it's legal.
That's right, Dad.
Bud would never do this. He would never go to Baltimore, but he would fit in really well in Baltimore. He would fit in really well in Dallas as well. I think Bud could fit in for the Colts. They need help on the edge.
That's
I don't know why they're
actually-
not mentioned on here.
I think they actually, PFF had Bud going back to, no, they might have had him going to the Colts. I'm going to look it up now.
he would fit in really well. We need some help at edge. That's why I was surprised. I don't think Indy's mentioned on here a single time for any needs. And trust me, boys,
They were on there for cornerback.
the
That
Codes
was their
have
only-
some needs.
They do.
But yeah, those would be mine. I mean, Baltimore, Dallas, I agree with you there, Josh. Bud's going to get paid. He's going to fit in somewhere. He put in his time there in Pittsburgh, and he needs to go off. And
They have the PFF has him going to the Colts
Yeah.
for a 1-year, $10 million deal. Makes a lot of sense.
he could come there a little mercenary year, earn it, and go get a bigger check somewhere else.
Because
But
Justin Houston's a free agent.
yeah, Houston's going to go. He underperformed this year, in my opinion. And a guy like Bud makes a ton of sense in Indy because you're going to have to fill with somebody, and you got some money to spend. So Ballard is going to have to fill these holes, and that's one of them. A guy like Bud makes a lot of sense.
I'll tell you someone I like.
Tell me.
Carl Lawson.
I was just about to tee you up on Carl Lawson.
Carl!
Where does Carl go?
I mean, I think Carl's my second favorite guy behind Shaq Barrett. People forget he's going to be 26, still super young. Could be just coming into his own. This was a guy that put up 8.5 sacks on less than 500 snaps his rookie year. So always been a guy that's very efficient with his opportunities. I love Carl Lawson, man. I'm really excited for him, in Dynasty, and I think he could be like a 10-sack guy next year.
This
If
is a
he
guy
lands
you're
in the right
trying to
spot.
acquire right now.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and I was actually able to pick Carl Lawson up on a few waivers in a couple leagues, which was surprising to me.
That is surprising.
But
People
yeah,
tend to fade guys that are have uncertainty, like free agents, or it goes one of two ways. They either fade them because of the uncertainty,
Mhm.
or you try to rush in and buy them at a discount.
yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, Carl Lawson, in my opinion, has never been used properly there in Cincinnati. I think this last year we saw him used more than ever. But there wasn't a lot of talent around him. I'm just excited for him to get a fresh start. And I think someone's going to be really happy if they go after this guy.
I think my guess is that he probably goes back to Cincinnati. They're actually in pretty good shape as far as cap space. So they have the 5th most cap space in the league. The Colts are number 2. They're just a smidge behind the Jags. The Jags have about $79 million. This has been adjusted on Spot Track because they had it at 175. I don't know if you guys saw the news. Expectation is it might be closer to 185. So about like a $13 million drop from this year. So they have the Colts at 78.49 million. Jags was 79.6. So I think he goes back to the Bengals, but I think if not, I think it'll be one of these AFC North teams that picks him up. You have Cleveland needs edge help. You got Baltimore on here. So I could see one of those two teams taking a chance on old Carl.
Also, it's likely that Tampa Bay loses Shaq. Carl Lawson will be the perfect replacement for him.
Exactly. So I'm glad you brought up Carl. That was one that I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about a safety. So the number 1 guy on PFF's ranks here was Justin Simmons. I think Justin Simmons probably stays with Denver. That's just if you have to bet in Vegas, just take that they stay with their team.
They should likely just tag him again, right?
I would think so, but let's say that they don't. Let's say they don't tag him. You have 2 teams that needed safety help, according to the Draft Network, Minnesota and Washington. Of those 2 landing spots, Addy, which one tickles your fancy the most? Is it your team, the Minnesota Vikings?
I would love him there.
That'd be great,
I would love
right?
him there, but I mean, it's kind of, we got Harrison Smith holding down his spot. So
I guess they're thinking with Anthony Harris out.
I guess you could run both those guys. I mean, I've always kind of likened Justin Simmons to a Harrison Smith, but yeah, I mean, you could play Justin Simmons deep there, and run Smith at strong safety. That'd be tight. But I mean, we got other needs.
Washington would be. It's interesting that Washington is on this list. I mean, You have Landon Collins coming back. I mean, You could always, that'd be a nice feather in the cap for Ron Rivera, a defensive coach, to kind of stock the pantry on that side of the ball.
I feel like they'll use Cameron Curl maybe in a different role next year.
You have to get him on the field, right?
He's a playmaker, man. He gets,
It's kind of like L'Jarius Sneed. It's like, just get this guy on the. I know that, Chiefs, you have a ton of really great safeties between Juan Thornhill and Honey Badger and Dirty Dan, but they found a way to get Snead on the field.
Yeah, L'Jarius,
you can do it. You can do it. So, all right, I think that I would say either one of those teams would be great, but let's run them alongside Harrison Smith in Minnesota. That'd be a lot of fun, especially if they get old Kirk out of town and maybe trade up in the draft to get somebody. What are you hoping they do at quarterback?
Well, I mean, I was wanting us to tank this last year.
Yes, you were. And then they're like, let's win like 7 games and just kill our draft pick. Yeah.
Very annoying. And so that's, they're in the worst spot that you want to be for a franchise. So I hope that someone comes knocking for Kirk. I was very excited to see the rumors about San Fran potentially being interested in Kirk Cousins.
Reunite with Shanahan, right? Because was Shanahan his coach in Washington when he was first drafted? Okay.
And that would be truly a great fit. He's a much better quarterback than Jimmy G. Jimmy G sucks. Kirk Cousins is a little underrated, in my opinion. He'd be great there with Debo and Ayuk and Kittle. That would be I think, in my opinion, San Fran would be a Super Bowl contender again, just like the Rams are with Stafford. So yeah, I hope someone comes knocking because it's time to go ahead and reset.
It's time. It's past time.
Yep.
All right, Connie. This is former Colt. Let's give Malik Hooker a new home. Not a big IDP asset, but a guy that could maybe reinvent himself with a fresh start. Where do you want to send Malik?
I think Minnesota makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
For Malik. Keep playing indoors, playing fast. I think he'd fit in there. And he doesn't have to be a thumper because you already have another thumper there at safety with Harrison Smith, correct? He's still there?
That's right.
So if you think about a guy that you ask him, hey, we need you to just play center field, go out, make interceptions. We're not going to ask you to come play in the box. And really, if you're having to make tackles, the play is already probably pretty well blown anyway. Just don't let anybody behind you. And when he was asked to do that for Indy and not do any more than that, he did a really good job with it. So if you have a team that's got pressure at every level, because who knows if we get to see the hell of a year Julian Blackmon had as a rookie, if Hooker doesn't have another crazy injury. So let him play somewhere where he doesn't have to play any physical style. I think Minnesota kind of gives him that. So Vikings, to me, make a lot of sense.
I love it. Addy, this is a guy that had a breakout season. Trey Hendrickson. Where would you like to see Trey go? Saints are not going to be able to keep Hendrickson. So give me your pick for where his ideal landing spot would be.
I don't know that I'd be the team wanting to give Trey a lot of money. Feels like last year was a fluky type deal, you know. Trey's good. I mean, but again, he had what, like, was he second or third in sacks on the year?
I think so.
He was up there. I just don't see that happening again for old Trey Hendrickson. Somewhere like Buffalo.
That's exactly where PFF called him.
I mean, that just feels right. I feel like he'd be a great fit there.
They're going to be spenders. Let's see what their cap situation is like. So, let's see. They are. They don't have a lot of money. They have $3 million. So.
But that's, you
can move stuff around. You can restructure guys' contracts and push money to future years. That's how you end up like the Saints, though, like $150 bajillion over the cap.
Yeah, cap space is mainly fake for the most part.
Yeah, it's pretty malleable. Like the Saints have been doing some tricky stuff for years now. Now the Bills, it's coming due. Yeah, it always does. But you can move stuff around.
Yeah.
So let's see if there's another guy here that we want to talk about. What do you think the market is going to be for the guy who has probably moved around the most in the past, I would say 2 years, in Yannick Ngakoue? So was with the Jags, went to Minnesota, shipped off to Baltimore. Do you think he's back in Baltimore or somewhere else?
Yeah, I could see him back in Baltimore. I mean, that's a definite need there. I mean, Calais Campbell isn't getting any younger. I mean, they need help there on the edge. So, yeah, I think Yannick makes a lot of sense. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see it. I was looking up. Yeah, so Trey Hendrickson, you were right. He was third in sacks, tied for second with 13.5.
Sheesh.
TJ Watt was first with 15, and Aaron Donald and Trey Hendrickson both had 13.5. So let's look at the list, though, because I don't want to.
Oh, some guy I always want to mention, Keanu Neal.
Yes.
Someone that if it wasn't for Alex Smith, I think Keanu Neal could be considered for comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still like Keanu Neal. I was really happy to see him return to form. He'd be a great fit for Minnesota.
Yes, he would.
I'd love that.
Let's just give all the safeties. Let's have Minnesota with like 8 safeties. Just run like an 8 safety front. So the PFF has him going to the Giants, which is kind of fun. Yannick Ngakoue.
Okay.
So they're losing a couple guys. You know, they have Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams, both kind of more interior guys, but 2 guys on the defensive line that could be out the door. But let's see. Edge for Yannick. Ooh, how about this? How about as the Melvin Ingram replacement with the Chargers?
That's nice.
Brandon Staley, nice, young, smart defensive head coach.
I like it.
I like that a lot. That
you don't think Baltimore keeps him?
I think they do. Yes.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think he gets out of Baltimore.
This is all kind of assuming that the teams don't keep him. But
I see.
The smart money on most of these players is that their team is going to keep them.
Sure.
Unless they're in some kind of cap hell.
I think Yannick stays. Yeah.
So, because, I'm looking right now. The Saints, boys, I was selling them short. They are $94 million over the cap. Ooh. You were wondering how bad things have gotten.
Could Yannick go to Cleveland? Or does he have the ability to pick and choose the unrestricted free agent?
Cleveland would be a nice spot for him.
Cleveland would be very nice alongside Myles Garrett.
Him and Myles Garrett would absolutely be the Bash brothers there in the North. And they need to continue. Cleveland, my one piece of advice to you, you need to continue to build on that tough guy, leader of the black and blue division in the AFC side. Like, we are the tough guys, not Baltimore, not Pittsburgh. And, it's our division. It's our takeover from here on out.
So I'll give you guys some other teams here that have a need at safety. That's a secondary need. So there were only 2 teams that had a huge need for safety, and it was the Washington football team and the Vikings. But you've got the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Eagles, Falcons, Patriots, Saints, Texans. I mean, a guy like, who was I just looking at? We were talking about Keanu Neal.
Cowboys would be a good fit there. They've been looking for safety forever, although I would hate what that would do to maybe Donovan Wilson.
Yeah, I was thinking John Johnson that's a player I think is a little bit, he was hot like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Kind of flown under the radar on IDP a little bit, but had a nice year, I think. And yeah, I could see, what if he just went across the way to LAC, stayed in the building, hooked up with the Chargers.
That'd be nice.
That'd be kind of fun.
Derwin. That'd be cool.
Yeah. And it'd be nice kind of Derwin insurance, because who are we talking about? Rayshon Jenkins and who are the
Nasir Adderley?
Yeah, like all these safeties, like they clearly need some depth there. Like it would be smart.
They're clearly cursed.
They are buried on some kind of bad ground, some kind of cursed land is where that stadium is built.
But yeah, it's time to build that defense up there. And
let's go. You
LA.
got the QB, man. It's time to start.
The offensive set, man.
Stacking chips. Like let's go all in.
They need another sexy offensive piece. I think.
They do. And they need one more.
Let's bring in some free agents.
Hunter Henry's probably out the door if I had to guess. So maybe you need a tight end. But yeah, you're like maybe 2 or 3 pieces away, and you need Derwin healthy. He is the game changer.
They should be after Pitts. I don't know how early he goes, but Kyle Pitts would be sick there.
Yes, he would.
Herbert.
Kyle Pitts is huge.
He's awesome.
Have you seen pictures of this guy?
I think his player profiler has him compared to LeBron.
Does it really?
I think so.
That's great. I'm gonna vet that because that is so good. All right. Any other guys here, Eddie, that you want to mention?
Marcus May, someone that I really like at safety. I mean, I think someone would be getting a great safety if they get him.
That would be wasn't he the one that had the big blow up in week 1 that basically carried like a third of his IDP points?
Yes. Yeah, he wasn't the best IDPer, but I like Marcus May. He'd be a nice fit for someone that needs a safety. Let's see, who else do we got? That's really, I mean, it's not too sexy. Hassan Reddick, he'll be interesting to, he's got a lot of upside. He had a really great year filling in for Chandler Jones.
I don't know why, but I could see Reddick going to Denver.
Yeah.
That's just popped into my head, so I'm going with it.
Similar vein as Carl Lawson, just young guys, that still can reach another level, I think, in a new situation. But Reddick was great last year. I mean, he really was. He had those monster weeks, with 4 or 5 sack games.
Yeah. Was it, did he have a 6 sack game or was it a 5 sack game? I'm thinking of the other guy. Who was the rando guy in Atlanta that had
Adrian Claiborne?
There you go. Had a 6 sack game. Yeah, I think Hassan had like a 4 or 5 sack game, didn't he? Man. Yeah, there's not, I would say, superstars outside of Lavonte David, who I don't think will hit the market, but there's some really nice depth. I mean,
Milano solid.
Yes, I didn't include any of the cornerbacks. There's like 20 cornerbacks on the top 100 for PFF.
Oh, speaking of that, folks, we are in on cornerbacks now. I'm team cornerback.
Are you really?
I mean, we suggested the rule change in our RSO league. I suggested us going, and Tom and Johnny have been really the 2 guys that have kind of got me on board and thinking differently about this stuff. But I think 3 cornerbacks, starting 3 corners is the way to go.
Yeah, we tried to get it approved. It got shot down. But we did it. We did bump passes defended up. I wanted to go the full 5. We went with 3 and bumped it up to 2 across the board for non-cornerbacks.
Baby steps. Just
baby steps.
Get everyone thinking.
Let's see how we like it.
But yeah, I think starting 3 cornerbacks it makes the position more fun. It gives value to it. That's always the argument that, you can stream all these guys. Well,
what happens if you go to 3? Then you got to pay a little more attention.
It's fun.
Yeah.
More cornerbacks are getting on the field too because the league is becoming more of a passing league. So even a newbie like me knows that there is more value. You got to know more.
Connie was paying attention.
If you want to challenge yourself, know where the NFL is going. That's the direction it's been heading for a long, long time. Despite what the Lions head coach wants you to believe, where they're going to run the ball 60 times a game and eat your kneecaps.
That's right. It's a passing league now, just the way it goes. And speaking of that type stuff, everyone make sure you check out what Tom just released.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. It breaks down every defense, what they do.
Graphics looks great. It's a beautiful looking publication.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, check it out. I think I compared it to the asteroid that hits the Earth in Deep Impact.
Yeah, it's gonna have that.
Do you remember that movie? Like the Tia Leone standing with her dad on the beach and the waves coming and they're just hugging and I'm like, bro, I don't care if you've made peace with dying. My ass is running away from a giant wave. I'm at least gonna go down running.
No, man.
Not me.
You just gotta let that thing eat you up.
Fetal position, baby. Just try not to think about it. I'm gonna hopefully be asleep if I know that's coming. Hopefully it can have like it scheduled.
You have enough anxiety just to be like, I'm gonna go to bed for this wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to sleep as this tsunami swallows my house. Eddie's gonna be like the old couple on Titanic that were holding hands as the ship was sinking.
That's me.
All right, well, this was fun. I'm excited to see where these free agents land. We don't have, as much draft juice this year because the combine's all virtual. Combine's like a low-key fun event to just have on in the background as you're working. Mm-hmm. But we don't have that this year, so I'm kind of bummed. But free agency, didn't want to overlook that. We'll obviously do a breakdown once free agency gets underway to recap the landing spots for some of these big names, but just wanted to throw in a little nice wrinkle here along with our Super Bowl preview. Connie, I like the notes you put at the bottom of the doc. Why don't you take us home with that?
So, as we all know, it is Black History Month. So we have a nice fun fact here to celebrate Black History Month. NFL, believe it or not, guys, 14 years ago today, Colts head coach Tony Dungy, of course, I was partial to this fun fact, became the first Black head coach in history to win a Super Bowl. So amazing. And that was the first Super Bowl ever to be coached by two African-American head coaches, him and Lovie Smith.
That's right.
Yep.
So it was going to happen either way that game. Both great men. Would have been great to see either way. It would have been crazy to think Rex Grossman would have beaten Peyton Manning in a Super Bowl.
That would have been insane.
But yes, Tony Dungy, great man, great leader of men. So happy Black History Month.
I love it, Connie. Well. You guys seen Lovey lately?
What's he doing? He's got a big beard, right?
Yes, he does have a beard. Yes. Where's he coaching? Illinois,
yes,
right? Yeah, I have seen him actually.
That was what I was going to mention, the beard.
Yeah, the beard's fantastic.
Yeah, he's really got a great beard.
I was trying to think who has won since him. Mike Tomlin won 08 against the Cardinals.
Yes.
Trying to think who else. Of course, you had Bill Belichick win about half of these. You had the Ravens win. The Chiefs
Russ
won.
is a Black quarterback. Of course, there had been others before him. But, yeah, I mean, I always thought that was such a cool honor for the Colts franchise to have, especially somebody like him that's just such a good, straight-laced, just God-fearing man, just a great person you'd want to represent your franchise. And, like, that could be once-in-a-lifetime moment. I mean, right now it doesn't seem like that window is going to open back up anytime soon.
Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. But what a cool Super Bowl. That was the Prince Super Bowl. That was Peyton getting his ring, Tony Dungy getting his ring. So, good stuff, Connie. We'll hope you all enjoy the big game this Sunday. We will be partaking at our parents' house. There's some good food on deck.
What we eating, boys?
Yeah, let's tell everybody what we're eating here.
So we got our buddy Cabell that we talked about before is a great cook. He's going to be cooking up some brisket, some chicken. He's got some side dishes that are going to be going on. And the women folk. And Addie, I think you always cook a little something as well. We got the appetizers and the desserts. So it's always the best spread. It's like second only to Thanksgiving in terms of my favorite meal that I look forward to every year.
It's the best. Pro tip, if you can. I know it's kind of late in the game, but try and get off Monday.
Yeah.
Tough day to go into work after Super Bowl.
Sit bolt upright in bed at 3 a.m. just with the meat sweats.
Yes.
Not a good place to be. So take off Monday. Just call in sick. Do it right now.
It's going to be a good time. I heard about the sides. So we'll have the brisket, the smoked chicken as well.
Yep.
We're going to do the Thanksgiving style green beans. We'll have sausage balls.
You always make these Rotel cups that are
so
good.
Mm-hmm. Pasta salad, and a few other snacks and sides. And
I'm going to shake your hand.
Yeah.
I thought you were going for this is what the sound you'll be hearing if you could be in the bathroom. Just all day. I'll be right back.
Just the entire board.
Yeah.
It does. It'll describe that day perfectly. Yes. So I can't wait. It's a bittersweet day. Tom's winning another one, but we're eating great. So we'll see how it goes.
The GOAT. That's right. Well, we may see you guys Sunday night. We'll see. If not, look forward to Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll see if the women folk can come through. But we're supposed to have the wives out here for the hottest offensive players. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then Thursday, Addie, a week from today, our baby, John Macri, makes his debut in the Big Three IDP podcast feed with the Big Nickel IDP podcast. That's going to be, and we're on it, guys. We're on the first episode.
That's right.
We got the invite.
Johnny Mac, the Card King, and then the Raymer brothers.
Can't
Clear
ask
your
for much
schedule,
more.
kids.
There goes the neighborhood.
Clear
That's
your
right.
schedule.
And John dropped it on Twitter, so we'll go ahead and share with you guys. We are redrafting the 2020 rookie class. It is going to be so much fun. I can't wait for you to take Laviska Shenault at 101 so we don't take him from you.
Yes, sir.
Going to be fun. Look forward to that. A lot of good stuff coming up. Boys, we are just ramping up the season. Might be drawing to a close, but the content is just getting started. Look forward to it. Shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you all for watching tonight on Periscope and YouTube and over on Twitch. Thanks for not calling us the C word over on Twitch. We appreciate y'all Twitchers. We are cool, fellow kids. Hope you all enjoy the game. Stay safe out there. We will see you all next week.
This is Big 3 IDP. Catches in the league going in every week, racking them points up. Who got the streak? Cause we joking it, having some fun. Yeah, this how the crew getting it done. I'm talking Josh, Adam, and Connor. Yeah, this a command and conquer. Hard hitting, the IR's real. This football, yeah, you know the deal. Cause it's all about the defense and the TDs. Yeah, this is Big 3 IDP.